Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 2023 to 2024 class office forums for the class of 2025, who will be upcoming juniors in the following term. We will have a selection of questions for them to answer in a 1-minute answering period. Let's begin. My name is Genesis Arroyo, and I will be serving as your Vice President of Special Events for the next term.
And my name is Lily Rodriguez, and I will be your VP of Athletics, one of two.
We're going to start off with introducing ourselves. So we'll go down the list, starting with the presidential candidates. We'll start with Michaela. Please state your name and then the position you're running for.
Hi, I'm Michaela Menizala, and I'm running for class president.
Hi, my name's Kai Nan, and I'm running for president.
Hi, I'm Hilam Lee, and I'm running for vice president.
Hi, my name is Hiro Rodis, and I'm running for treasurer.
Hello, I'm Mateo Piazza, and I'm running for treasurer.
Alrighty, awesome. Let's move on to the first question. So to everyone, what are ideas you would like to implement this school year for your class? We can start off with the vice president candidate, and then we'll go to the president candidates. So Hilam, whenever you're ready, I'll start the timer when you start talking.
Some new ideas I could bring for the next school year are new merchandise, such as stickers, sunglasses, more bandanas, and even possibly hoodies. I also want to make a year-round committee that is only focused on painting and props for Airband. Another idea I have is incorporating challenges for hitting a goal every Spirit Week. Ideas like this can help our class to be more involved with school spirit and engage with everyone and create a class bond.
Now we're going to go on to the presidential candidates. We'll start off with Kai. I'll start your timer when you start speaking.
There have been a lot of great ideas that have come up this past year, and I think that involvement and engaging the entirety of the class is the most important part. One idea, just like Hilam, is for this upcoming school year, I want organized committees or groups for specific events that help carry out plans and ideas. I like the fact that we have forums to gather painters, prop makers, and dancers for Airband, but I do wish that it expanded to choreographers for dances, decorators for rallies, and event coordinators for class-wide events. Which leads to my second idea, more class-wide events and fundraisers to raise funds for our class. A good example this year was the Holiday Palooza, and I wish to do that with more holidays like Halloween, like a spooky movie night. I think fundraisers may be one of the most important, if not the most important part of the future class events. Another idea I have is to stay active on social media with TikToks, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts to keep the class engaged the entire school year.
Thank you. Now we're going to go on to our next presidential candidate, Michaela, whenever you're ready.
I loved BUTC this year. You guys did a really good job, but something I would add is more cheers. Not necessarily like class cheers, but cheers that pertain to the games that we're doing. For example, for basketball, we would have cheers that go along with basketball. Another would be different workshops leading up to BOTC. This would include tie-dyeing your class shirt, face painting the day of BOTC, and sign making workshops, because I notice a lot of people want to take home the signs after BOTC, but unfortunately they're not able to. Besides rallies, a class of 25 bulletin board, a club calendar, Airband movie night are all things I want to focus on. This again relates to not having social media. A bulletin board will allow all the info to be in one place, so everyone just has to go there. A club calendar allows everyone to know what clubs we have to offer and when they meet or when to bring money for a fundraiser. Like, let's be real, we all don't know how many clubs Independence has, and we have so many opportunities that are out for us, we just don't know it. Airband movie night just allows people to know what's happening in Airband and allows them to know the inside jokes. And my final idea would be class officer vlogs. That way your class knows your officers.
Your minute is done. Thank you. All right, we're gonna move over to our treasurer candidates. We can start off with Mateo whenever you're ready.
Some ideas I would like to implement to get our class more involved during the school year would be to do certain fundraisers and events during that certain season. For example, we can do certain events during the fall season that would get our community and our peers more engaged around that season. Something else that I think we could implement is focusing more on our sports and hosting events during our sports seasons, as I feel like our sports teams are not given enough praise during their seasons, and I feel like we neglect them a lot. We neglect them a lot during our seasons, and I feel like we could implement some ideas surrounding that.
All right, thank you. We're gonna move on to our second treasurer candidate, Hero Rodis, whenever you're ready.
I would like to further increase communication with the student body. This year it felt great. However, next year I would like to make it even better. I feel as if it would be amazing to encourage students to come up with ideas for new initiative for new events. They would like to see happen at school and turn their ideas into a reality. This way, students are more inclined to be more involved and engaged in school activities.
Thank you. All right, let's move on to the next question.
So the second question, we're gonna give you guys a minute to think about it. It's to everyone. Have you been involved in your class this year? If not, why not? And for this one, we'll start with the treasurer candidates, starting with Hero.
Yes, I have been involved in my class year. I played in 3 of the air bands, with freshman year being Hoko Air Band, sophomore year Hoko Air Band, and BOTC Air Band, and I was co-captain of Rowdy Rough and 2022 to 2023 class office treasurer. Oh, for class of 2023.
Okay, thank you. And then we'll move on to Mateo.
This year, I've not been completely involved with my school and the events, as this year I've taken a big step back for myself mentally, and I focused on myself more. As during freshman year, I tried to commit as much time as I could into being involved with school events, and it really burnt me out, and I really had a whole new I had a whole new different meaning of my life happen, and many things happened. So I've taken this whole year to step back and focus on things more educational wise and personal wise. But next year, I really want to get more involved with school, with my class events, and being able to be there for my peers and people that would also probably need support from not just me in very small things or big things, but also myself.
Okay, thank you. And now we'll move on to the VP.
I've been involved in my class for the past few years of high school. For example, I played 2 huge roles in past airbands. I was Greek for Hoko Airband and Buzz Lightyear for BOTC Airband. I also did Rowdy football for 2 years, freshman and sophomore years, and I participated in games for every rally this school year, and I'm also on the girls golf and basketball team.
Okay, and lastly, we'll finish off with the presidents. We'll start with Michaela.
For our class this year, I did Rowdy Rough, and besides that, I did a bunch of clubs, Bring Teacher to Mind as event coordinator, Helping Hands historian, Shelter Club president, NBC member, D4 Yak member, volleyball team captain, boys manager. I did all of this because I wanted to surround myself with people who had the same interests as me. I love seeing people really passionate about something where they can talk forever about it. And that's one of the main reasons why I love class office. Bringing our class together and makes people really passionate about our community and helping each other and bringing each other to victory. It really makes or breaks our year, and I love seeing people's reaction to things, really knowing that our hard work paid off. And then freshman year, I was class president, and I did a bunch of stuff with that. So yeah.
And then we'll finish it off with Kai.
This year, I've tried my best to stay spirited and involved in the class by participating in BOTC Airband as a clapping monkey and posting as much as possible during Spirit Week South for Class 1 BOTC. I've also taken new leadership positions this year within clubs and organizations to prepare myself for this role. However, that is not as much as I would have liked. But with this role as president, I plan to fulfill that goal and give myself 100% into staying involved and active during the whole entire year by putting aside any possible distractions or conflicting activities in my schedule.
Thank you. We can move on to the next question now.
All right. So the next question is going to be, why did you choose to run for your specific position? We'll start off with the presidential candidates and we'll have Michaela go first. Whenever you're ready, I'll start the timer.
Knowing that I have previous experience being president for not only class office, but also for clubs, show that my passion for leadership does not stop with wanting to lead the class, but also lead class officers. I know that I have the qualities, the patience, the time management to help my fellow officers with whatever ideas or problems they have, which is what a president should do. They lead their peers and their partners. They're the support system. They're the place to go if you're lost, and they should be the ones who are calm in a storm, which is why I chose to run for president.
All right, thank you. Yeah, Kai, whenever you're ready.
I chose to run for president because I know that I have what it takes to help class of 25 get that title of first place in BOTC. With so much momentum from this year's class office and so much support from our class as a whole, I know that we will be able to work together and complete that goal. Being able to say that our cabinet was able to achieve such high standards is something that I want to feel with my peers. With involvement as well, I know that by the end of this year, I would be able to say that I fulfilled an amazing high school experience.
All right, thank you. All right, we can go on to our vice president candidate, Hilam, whenever you're ready.
I decided to run for vice president because with my experience, I believe that I'm the most perfect for this role. Just like my previous answer, I played 2 huge roles in past airbands and I participated in rhetoric competition team freshman and sophomore year. I have the passion that would drive class of 2025 to first place in B2C with my dedication and hard work that I will put into class office. With this experience, I believe that I can take on the position of vice president and be more involved in our class.
Okay, thank you. Now we're going to go on to our treasurer candidates. We can have Mateo go first. Mateo, whenever you're ready.
I chose to run for treasurer this year as I think it best benefits myself and my peers as treasurer, as this is such a big role of being involved with your peers and being able to keep multiple responsibilities that I feel like I find myself taking during the normal school year. So I think this role would fit perfectly for myself with my own personal experiences and something that I feel I am very experienced in it in general.
Thank you, Mateo. Now we're going to go on to Hero and then move on to the next question. Hero, whenever you're ready.
I chose to run for my position because I honestly got attached to the work as class office treasurer. And not only that, I feel as if I could definitely do way better and one up myself and provide our class an even better school year next year.
All right. Thank you, Hero. We're going to move on to the next question.
All right. So for this one, what kind of legacy do you want to leave here at school? We'll give you guys 1 minute to think, and then we'll start with the treasurer candidates. And we'll start with Mateo.
I want to leave this legacy how my parents left it for their own kids, as they also grew up in this area and also went to independence. They left it as people who are very outgoing and always try to one up themselves and try to get better in everything they do. And I feel like in the past years throughout school, I have not been doing this and filling up to their expectations. So I feel like this opportunity would be great for me to be able to show them what I'm capable of and show myself what I'm also capable of, because I feel like I have more potential than I seek, and I feel like this would be perfect for me to be able to raise my own people here, my own kids, and be able for them to go here and make their own legacy. How I left mine for them to make their own.
Thank you. So we'll move on to here.
The kind of legacy I want to leave here at school is a legacy worth remembering. I want to leave school letting the world know that IHS was one of the best classes of all time, and letting people know I'm sorry.
Okay. We'll move on to the vice president.
The legacy I want to leave here at school is a positive community. I want to be known as the class that is the most hype and has a lot of school spirit. I want our class to lead an example for the lower classmen and have them look up to us. I want everyone to be able to go to school feeling joyful and more welcoming while continuing to create memories and making the most of our remaining high school years.
Thank you. And we'll go to our presidents and we'll start with Kai.
I want to leave junior year satisfied that I was able to carry out all my amazing plans as president of such an amazing, awesome, and spirited class. And as this year comes to a close, I know that this year's class office is really proud to be able to accomplish so much, like second place in BOTC, and I wish to achieve greater lengths next year by ultimately, stay with me, first place in BOTC as juniors. I think that is a legacy I want to be proud of when I eventually leave.
Thank you. And we'll finish it off with Michaela.
I want class of 25 to have the best junior year possible. I want them to have those core memories that they tell their kids. And more specifically, I want my ideas to carry on to other classes. So maybe one day my ideas turn into traditions like tie-dyeing shirts or class officer vlogs. I want my positivity and kindness to spread throughout the class and leave the class knowing that even with the stress of high school, it's still possible to have an amazing year and to grow from it. I also want people to be like, yo, remember class of 25? They were so hyped, man. I wish we were like them.
Thank you. We can move on to the next question.
Okay, so to everyone, you are now a part of class office and there is a conflict with other class officers. How do you plan on approaching and solving the conflict? We'll start off with our vice president candidate, Hila, whenever you're ready.
Whenever there's conflict among class officers, I would be open-minded about it and address the problem. I'd work my way through the conflict, listening to each side of the story and making sure everyone's communicating in a positive and respectful manner, because at the end of the day, class office is about working together as a team, and we set an example for our class. It is important to settle the conflicts and get things done before more conflict arises. If it doesn't work out, we can always go to our class advisors and hold a class office meeting and address the problem from there.
Thank you. Next, we'll go on to our presidential candidates. We'll start off with Kai, when he's ready.
I always plan to be open-minded and always listen to both sides of the story before making and giving my opinion on the situation. I feel like communication is the most important part in handling intense problems in order to mediate the conflict between two officers. Just talking about what happened and what led to this might just solve the situation. Whether it be miscommunications or someone didn't do something right, I plan to create an environment where we are all forgiving and loving to each other.
All right, thank you so much. We're gonna move on to our next presidential candidate, Michaela, whenever you're ready.
As we all know, conflicts are bound to happen in class office. Obviously, a main point would be communication, but another thing I want to point out is how we react to a conflict. If we let emotion cloud our judgment, like we get angry really fast or stressed out really fast, that's not going to solve anything. I have a lot of experience dealing with this, with the fact that I'm in Brain Change to Mind, a mental health advocacy group in Independence. So I believe that when a conflict does happen, everyone needs to take a step back and evaluate the facts. Why is this conflict happening? How we can prevent this in the future? What are we feeling in this moment? Are we mad at ourselves or at the conflict? And what are the steps we need to take to fix this in a calm way? Are there anything going on outside of this conflict that makes it worse? Do we need a break? Worst case scenario, like Kalam said, we bring in an advisor and they can guide us.
All right, thank you. Now we're gonna move on to our treasurer candidates. We can have Mateo go first. Mateo, whenever you're ready.
For me, it would really depend on the conflict and most of the situation. But my first overall approach would be to go to both parties and tell them to settle their differences in the most civilized manner possible. If that does not work, then I would go straight to our class advisors and ask for more assistance. If our school advisors could not figure something out, but between the two, then I would go to the school board or school office if needed for more assistance. If it does not work by then. And we'll try to sort the situation out as best as possible with our school. And if that does not work, then it is all up to them.
Thank you. And finally, we'll go on to Hero whenever you're ready.
The first thing I would do is figure out what caused the conflict in the first place, look at both sides of the story, and work with other class officers to figure out a solution from there, even if it takes class advisors' help. Because at the end of the day, you're stuck with your class officers till the end.
Thank you guys. All right, we're gonna go on to the next question, and I believe correct. So now we're gonna move on to more candidate specific questions. So this question is only gonna go to Michaela and Kai. We can have, after the 1 minute thinking period, Michaela go first. So the next question will pertain only to the presidential candidates. What is your personal definition of a leader? What qualities do you exemplify that will allow you to do the best for your class? Michaela, whenever you're ready.
A leader is someone who can get things done and has the qualities and the motivation to make it happen. They take their idea, plan it, and execute it in a timely manner and in a way that makes whoever they're leading happy. They not only make events, but they also motivate others to treat others the same way and follow their ideas the same way. The qualities that I have to be a leader is that I am very open-minded about everything, and I'm very creative, and I have the motivation to get things done with almost little to no procrastination, which I know is a problem for a lot of people. But I know what I need to focus on, and I know how to get it done and how to work with others in order to make that thing happen.
All right, thank you. And then we'll move on to Kai.
My personal definition of a leader is someone who can guide and motivate others to work for a specific goal by the end of the year. If a leader does not put 100% effort into working towards a task, then why should others think that they should too? It seems kind of pointless. Leaders are meant to be dominant and asserting, but if they're not able to get their point across to a class office, I do not believe that they are cut out to be a good leader in my eyes. As a leader on campus, you should know that it is your duty to serve the student body and set expectations on how to be a leader. And hopefully with my position as president, I will inspire others to take on more leadership positions and take initiative at our school.
All righty, thank you. We'll move on to the next question.
So this next question is specific to the vice president candidate. I'll give you 1 minute to think about it. It's, how do you plan on leading the class? What vision do you have as vice president of your class? And you can start whenever you're ready.
I plan on leading the class by wanting to improve on being more organized and having everything planned out. I plan on leading with good intentions and awareness of what my class needs or wants. I'm extremely passionate about our class, and I want to be able to lead it to success by putting out my best effort and creating long-lasting memories. My visions as vice president are by making sure everyone is involved with school activities. I envision a close and spirited class that will have fun and genuinely want to sign up for activities. I want to ensure that everyone feels welcome and can participate in our events.
Thank you. We can move on to the next question.
I believe what our final question is, we'll go to the treasurer candidates. So what are your financial plans for your class? Any fundraisers in mind? And we'll start off with Hero whenever you're ready.
I would definitely like to start budgeting more, as it was a struggle last year. It would be nice to have a limit on what we can spend so we don't buy things we don't necessarily need. As for fundraisers, I would like to try to expand away from things like boba and be more a little spicy with other things like bundt cakes and perhaps simple things like lemonade.
All righty, thank you, Hero. Now we'll go on to our other treasurer candidate, Mateo, whenever you're ready.
I think some of my ideas that I mentioned earlier would be to make some of our fundraisers mostly themed about the seasons or holidays that are around the time, and if possible, maybe even help out some of our sports teams if possible. The fundraisers would mostly be stuff with memorability or just more things that would be remembered by most of our peers in schools. But that would be probably merch or food, but we can also expand it into any other ideas that maybe our peers could have.
So with that, we conclude the 2023 to 2024 junior forums. Thank you for watching, and thank you for all of our candidates for being up here and participating today.